Good afternoon. Welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission. We are on the record in case numbers 9056 and 9064 with regard to the Commission's investigation into default service for Type 2 standard offer service customers. This is a trial type evidentiary hearing, and we will begin by taking the appearance of Commission staff. Actually, I don't see.
I do not see Mr. Spivak. If you'd like, I can call him on his cell phone real quick, Mr. Chairman.
If you could do that on mute, Mr. Hoppick, I'll move on.
Same.
We'll take the appearance of Office of People's Counsel.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Joseph Cleaver on behalf of the Office of People's Counsel.
We'll take appearances of the distribution utilities, beginning with Baltimore Gas and Electric Company.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Beverly Sakura on behalf of BG. I also have David Blue.
Thank you. Counsel for PHI.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, Seegers appearing.
Mr. Seegers, we lost pretty much everything you said. If you could try again without video.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, Matthew Seegers appearing for Pepco and Delmarva Power. Also appearing with me today is Mr. Dan Tudor.
Thank you. The Potomac Edison Company.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Jeffrey Trout for Potomac Edison. Also with me is Melanie Grant and about 5 guys with saws and hammers in my house.
Thank you, Mr. Trout. Your renovations never seem to end.
We still haven't repaired from the flood last August. It's ongoing trauma. I'm going back on mute before you get more drilling.
Finally, we'll take the appearance of Commission Staff Counsel.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Lloyd Spivak for the Commission staff. With me this afternoon is Frank Mossberg of Bates White, the Commission's consultant, and David Hoppick of the Commission's Electricity Division.
Thank you, Mr. Spivak. If you are prepared to present your case in chief, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Commission staff calls Frank Mossberg, please.
Mossberg, if you would please raise your right hand and wait to be sworn.
Mr. Mossberg, do you solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the statements made in this matter today are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You're a witness, Mr. Spivak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Mossberg, and welcome back to Baltimore.
Good afternoon, Mr. Spivak. Nice to be back.
Or actually not to Baltimore at the moment.
In the Baltimore of the mind.
There we go. Do you have in front of you a document captioned in Commission Cases 9056 and 9064 entitled Direct Testimony of Frank Mossberg, Bates White, LLC on behalf of the staff of the Public Service Commission of Maryland and dated with today's date?
I do.
Does the document consist of 7 pages of question and answer testimony and 1 single-page exhibit?
Yeah, it's actually eight pages Q&A testimony and 1 exhibit. The last last little lines go into the 8th page.
Okay, thank you. Did you prepare this document or was it prepared under your direct supervision?
Yes, it was.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you wish to make at this time?
No, I do not.
And if the questions were asked of you now as they are asked in this document, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Do you adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, staff requests that Mr. Mossberg's testimony be marked as Staff Exhibit 1 and admitted into the evidentiary record.
Seeing no objection, his testimony is so marked as Staff Exhibit number 1 and moved into evidence.
Thank you. Mr. Mossberg, can you give us a brief summary of the content of your testimony, please?
Certainly. Good afternoon, commissioners. Again, my name is Frank Mossberg with Bates White. We are the commission's monitor for this 2020-2021 SOS RFP, here to talk about the second bid day in your RFP. As before, there are two major noteworthy changes compared to standard procedure. First, due to the ongoing pandemic, all bid evaluation and receipt was conducted remotely. So Bates White independently received all bids, and only after the close of the bid window did we distribute them to the utilities. Second, we still don't have capacity prices after June 2022 due to the fact that PJM has yet to run its RPM auction. So consistent with past practice, a proxy price was used. This is only relevant for the Potomac Edison residential supply. We would recommend that you accept the results of this past Monday's bid, and we say so for 4 reasons. First, the procurement was open, fair, and transparent. All bidders, including utility affiliates, offered the same products, and the winners were solely those who offered the lowest price. Second, prices were consistent with broader market conditions. There were no winning bids rejected due to the imposition of your price anomaly threshold, or PAT. Third, the bid was competitive. Here I can share a few numbers. First, there were 10 bidders. This compares to 10 bidders last June. I'm comparing to last June because we were looking for a similar array of products. In October, we were looking for more residential supply that tends to bring out a little more participation. Another metric, we saw 5.5 megawatts offered for every megawatt needed. That compares to 5.4 to 1 in June. Finally, we saw 4 winners. That compares to 6 winners in June. So a little more concentrated winners, but again, these were those who offered lowest prices. Finally, we saw no violations of commission guidelines or RFP rules. Bates White was able to independently review rank bids and select winners and winning prices and come to an agreement with the EDCs on those winners and winning prices. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Do any of the parties wish to examine Mr. Mossberg? Do any of the commissioners have questions for the witness? Seeing none, Mr. Spivak, if you concur, your witness is excused.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commission staff calls David Hoppick.
Mr. Hoppick, if you please raise your right hand.
Mr. Hoppick, do you solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the statements made in this matter today are the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You're a witness, Mr. Spivak.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Hoppick.
Good afternoon.
Do you have in front of you a document captioned in Commission Case Numbers 9056 and 9064, entitled "The Commission Staff's Report on the Standard Offer Service Bidding Process and Results for 2021 through 2022, and dated with today's date"?
I do.
Does the document consist of 10 pages of information presented in both text and table form?
It does.
Did you prepare this document, or was it prepared under your direct supervision?
I prepared it.
Do you have any additions, deletions, or other corrections you wish to make at this time?
I do not.
Okay, and do you adopt this document as part of your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, staff requests that the staff report be marked as Staff Exhibit 2 and admitted into the record, please.
The exhibit is so marked as Staff Exhibit number 2 and moved into evidence.
Thank you. Mr. Hopper, can you give us a brief summary of the staff report, please?
Certainly, and good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. I will provide a brief overview of staff's report of the estimated bill impacts of the standard offer service bidding conducted on January 11th, 2021. Bids were received for Potomac Edison residential and type 2 service. I will begin with Potomac Edison Residential. Please turn to page 2 of staff's report. The bill impact estimates compare average estimated bills from June 2020 through May 2021 to June 2021 through May 2022. The average total Potomac Edison residential bill will increase 6.2% on average, which translates to approximately $89 per year. And the standard offer service portion of the bill is increasing approximately 12%. Next, I will review the type 2 estimated average bill impacts. Please turn to page 3. This compares estimated bills from March 2020 through May 2020 to March 2021 through May 2021. Additionally, a comparison of the standard offer service rates from winter to spring is provided. Please turn to page 6 for Potomac Edison. Average bills for spring decline approximately, for spring 2021, decline approximately 3 to 4% from spring 2020, and standard offer service rates are decreasing approximately 19% from winter to spring. Please turn to page 7 for BGE. Average total electric bills for spring 2021 increase approximately 2 to 4% relative to spring 2020, and standard offer service rates are decreasing 18 to 20% from winter to spring. Please turn to page 8 for Delmarva Power and Light. Average bills for spring 2021 increase 8 to 12% from spring 2020, and standard offer service rates are decreasing 18 to 24% from winter to spring. Finally, please turn to page 9 for Potomac Electric Power Company for PEPCO. For PEPCO, average total bills for spring 2021 decline 8 to 10% from spring 2020, and standard offer service rates are decreasing approximately 19% from winter to spring. That concludes my summary. Mr. Spivak, I believe you're muted.
I was. Thank you, Mr. Hopper, and the witness is available for cross-examination.
Thank you. Do any of the parties wish to examine the witness? Seeing none, do the commissioners have any questions of the witness? Thank you. The witness is excused. Mr. Spivak, do you have any additional witnesses to sponsor?
No, that concludes staff's case, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do any of the other parties have witnesses to sponsor? Seeing none, at this point, the commission will endeavor to issue an order on the contracts for the solicitations of the 4 distribution utilities in the very near future. With no additional matters to be brought before this commission today, this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you. We're off the record.